Hello and welcome to Startup Street. I'm Shruti Mishra and with me are Arundhati Ramanan and Ritu Singh. These are the top headlines from the startup space. The company law appellate tribunal paused the settlement between Byju and the BCCI. The court allows Byju to submit an undertaking on the source of funds after US lenders raised objections.
Ola Electric's founder Bhavish Aggarwal hits out at MapMyIndia, claims that the firm calls the firm opportunistic for filing a notice alleging copying of data to create Ola Maps.
Snapdeal and SoftBank Bank Unicommerce will open its initial public offerings anchor book on August 5th, likely to list on the bourses on August 13th. Firm lowers the issue size from 2.98 crore shares to 2.56 crore shares.
First Cry's IPO is also all set to open on the 6th of August. The IPO includes a fresh issue of 1,666 crore rupees with an offer for sale for up to 5.4 crore shares by existing shareholders M&M as well as SoftBank.
Low-code, no-code startup Nected bags $1.5 million in seed funding. Round was led by Binny Bansal's Three State Ventures. Other investors included Endurance Capital, Relentless VC and others. Funds will be used to enhance product usability and scale operations.
Those were the headlines that we're tracking for you this evening. But to the big story today, the BCCI versus Byju's case. The National Company Law Appellate Tribunal had decided to pause the payment settlement agreed by both parties. In an interesting turn of events, during the hearing, BCCI tells NCLAT no love lost for Byju or Riju and that the board will not condone any illegal activities and that they are entitled for the payments. Ashmit Kumar, was tracking those cases. Ashmit, take us through what happened in court today.
Well, the talks that took place between the BCCI and Byju appear to have yielded results. The counsels for both BCCI and Byju appeared before the NCLAT and they submitted that, yes, they indeed have reached a settlement over that payment dispute of 158 crore rupees. Byju today appearing before the NCLAT clarified that, number one, they've already paid 50 crore rupees and the balance amount will be paid in two tranches by August 8th. They also pointed out some interesting fact that this money is not coming from the company, is not even coming from Byju Ravindran, but is coming from Byju Ravindran, who's the younger brother of Byju Ravindran and is the largest shareholder as far as Think and Learn is concerned, coming in as a white knight. Now, this is where the US lenders who have exposure north of 8,000 crore rupees objected. They are calling this tainted money, calling it stolen money, saying that the NCLAT cannot be seen granting its blessings to what they called was round-tripping of money stolen from them. They are arguing that they had advanced loans, that these loans to Byju were in fact siphoned off by the two brothers and that their conduct has been called into question even by a court in the US and therefore the NCLAT should not grant its nod. Now, the NCLAT for now has hit the pause button, has allowed Byju to file an undertaking clarifying on the source of these fundings and will resume hearing in this case at 2 p.m. tomorrow, and that's when Byju will be hoping for the blessings, the final nod from the NCLAT, and hoping that with that nod, this entire insolvency proceedings can also be put to rest.
Ashmit, thanks for that. Byju's keeping it interesting one way or another. Now, Ola Electric's founder Bhavish Aggarwal has called MapMyIndia opportunistic for filing a notice alleging Ola had copied data for creating Ola Maps. Now, Aggarwal also said that the company is going to be responding to MapMyIndia publicly and stressed that Ola Electric is not even involved in the mapping business. Take a look.
On the MapMyIndia notice, see, we have put out a public statement that we will definitely respond to it publicly, and we think it is very opportunistic of them, and Ola Electric is not even in the maps business. We are a group, we have three different entities in the group, Ola Cabs, Ola Electric and Ola Kritrim, and Ola Electric is not in the maps business. There are opportunistic players across, so we will definitely respond to them at the right time.
Well, that was Bhavish Aggarwal, the founder of Ola Electric, rejecting MapMyIndia's charges. Moving on, electric vehicle and clean energy startup Simple Energy has raised $20 million in its Series A funding round. Now, this round included participation from the company's current investors, HNIs and family offices like the Haran Family Office, Dr. A. Velumani's Family Office, Vasavi Family Office and the Desai Family Office promoter group of our power industries, among others. Now, to talk about the road ahead, joining me now is Simple Energy's founder and CEO, Suhas Suhas Rajkumar. Suhas, welcome to Startup Street. With the fresh funds raised, you plan to scale up production of Simple Energy's two key offerings, Simple 1 and Simple.1. If you could elaborate on these plans, tell us what kind of new production capacities are you looking at, and also give us a sense of the rollout of your two-wheelers.
Offering of Simple 1 and Simple.1, just not in Bangalore, but across India. So with this fresh funds that we raised this month, we are looking to expand in South and the West zone of India. And I think we are looking at a ramp up from 200 scooters to 5,000 scooters a month from now on.
Okay. Suhas, additionally, the funds, I believe, will also be used to support Simple Energy's entry into new markets. You know, you're looking to expand your presence across India as well as facilitate new product development. So tell us, what new markets are you eyeing and what is in the pipeline? What are the new offerings you're working on? Will we see e-bikes and cars launching soon?
So on the new markets, in next 2 weeks, we are launching our first store in Andhra Pradesh, in Chennai, in Gujarat, in Maharashtra, Goa, and down south, Kerala as well. So we're expanding rapidly in this few states in next 2 to 4 weeks, and you'll see a lot of stores going live, roughly about 15 odd stores. And apart from that, we are also eyeing on the northern side, where we're looking at Delhi as our first entrant by September. And by end of this year, we should be in the eastern part of India as well. So we're looking at about 25 to 30 odd stores by December, and hoping to, from there on. So this is the current plan. And apart from that, we are looking at a very different segmentation in terms of the product lineup that we have. We are looking at affordable scooter next fiscal year. And I think that is where our part of funds will also be used at. And a car and other aspects of it, I think it's still roughly about, 2 years away for us in terms of where we are today. I think for next 2 fiscal years, we are very clearly focused on this.
All right. Okay. So it's all in the works there currently, Suhas. But in alignment with your aggressive growth plans, you're also hoping to achieve a top line of 150 crore rupees this fiscal year. Are you on track to achieve this target? What are you currently at? And what makes you bullish? What are you betting big on?
So we are currently at 5 crores odd monthly revenue, largely because we were in pilot phase in Bangalore from one store. While that is a great response for us on the ground and the pre-booking side as well, we have over 1 lakh pre-bookings out there. But having said that, with our aggressive plans on our expansion on dealership network, we are hopeful. I think we are fairly there at 150 crore top line with this financial year ending. I think we should do better, but I think for now, we are very confident about achieving this, revenue results that we are looking in this financial year.
Okay.
And apart from that, I think our pre-bookings are very strong to achieve that.
All right. So as you manufacture 95% of your scooter components in-house, and you claim to be the only OEM in India with a state-of-the-art motor manufacturing line within your 200,000 square feet plant located in Tamil Nadu. Talk to us about how you plan to increase your distribution and dealer network, and are there some targets that you can share with us?
Yeah, so ideally we are localized, to a level where we even manufacture our motors. So we are first in the Indian subcontinent to even do that. So I think that helps us scale our production plans, which I mentioned earlier, that we are looking at 5,000 units a month. Though our factory is much capable, we can do about 3 lakh units annually. But having said that, we are in a growth phase and we are steadily improving our production. Apart from that, our dealer network plan of action was very clear from last Jan. We were looking at expanding in southern market and the western market as soon as we wrap up our funding, which we did in Series A. And this will help us, give dealers an assurance about the supply chain issues that are going to be resolved,
so
which kind of where problems.
All right. So as last 10 seconds before I let you go, now, we've spoken about your aggressive growth plans. Give us a sense of when you plan to list on the bourses. Is there an IPO timeline in place?
Yep, absolutely. There is roughly about 24 to 36 months for us. I think next 1 year is critical. I can speak fairly on this on March or the end of this fiscal year. I'll be able to give you a clear plan of action. But as of today, it's 24 to 36 months.
All right. We've run out of time. And Suhas, many thanks for joining us on Startup Street, and wish you the very best for all your aggressive growth targets.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, and what's brewing today? D2C hair care brand Moxie Beauty has raised 17.3 crore rupees in funding led by Fireside Ventures and others. Launched in November last year, Moxie Beauty makes hair care products which are tailored for Indian hair textures, and it plans to use the funds that it has raised towards product innovation, research, hiring talent and expanding distribution. For more on this and Moxie Beauty's growth roadmap into India's $5 billion hair care market, I am now joined by Nikita Khanna, who is the co-founder of the company. Nikita, welcome to Startup Street. Thank you very much for your time here on CNBC-TV18. Let's begin with how your journey into building, what you call hair care 2.0 on your LinkedIn profile. How did it begin with Moxie Beauty? What is the market gap you identified, and what's the response been like so far?
Thank you so much for having me. I think hair care 2.0, as we call it, we'll maybe just jump into that a little bit. The problem we're addressing is that global companies don't actually make their formulas for Indian hair. So Moxie makes salon quality products for Indian hair textures, weather and habits. Why this is important is that genetically Indian hair is actually very different. Brown races tend to have wavy, frizzy, curly hair. And you have to account for Indian hair texture, whether even our habits are very unique. South Asian habits are very unique. We're all promised that silky smooth outcome that never arrives. I'm sure you can relate. So we need to be able to formulate. We moved away from leaving oil in our hair. Culturally, aesthetically, we moved away from that. But the solutions that we copy-pasted from the West don't actually deliver. They are meant for Caucasian hair, which is very different texturally. You enter the shower with straight hair, you exit the shower with straight hair. So we specialize currently with our first range in frizzy, wavy, curly hair, which is about 80% of Indians. That is the texture that we have on our heads. And we formulate, we spend anywhere between 1 to 2 years getting our formulas right with a great team of scientists. All happen to be women. That's not by design. And we test only on Indian folks, Indian hair, and no Photoshop. Every photograph, every sort of display of results is shot not even in a studio, it's shot in our office. So that is what I like to call hair care 2.0. We're very focused on solving this problem.
Well, I couldn't agree more. We need more products for our hair type. But, Nikita, give us a sense of the pace at which business has grown, because you've only just started. What sort of revenues are you already clocking? What kind of sales are you making on a monthly basis?
So we are 8 months old. This month, we will do a little over 1 crore in net sales. And this is just via our website and Amazon. We will be going live on other channels. I think we wanted to be very, very focused on D2C in the first few months because, that's where you're closest to the customer, and what we're doing is very different. So we needed to be able to measure that product market fit and really get into those cohorts. So clocking about 1 CR, this has doubled in the last 2 months, actually. And we're looking to keep doubling every 4 to 6 months because it's still very early days.
Well, we'll get back to that distribution and those numbers, but let's get to that 17.3 crore funding that you've raised. How exactly do you plan to deploy it when you talk about product development, distribution? What are the plans there? I mean, are you looking at a physical presence as well?
So I think the major buckets for fund deployment are product development, certainly. Then distribution and working capital is a very big one, and hiring. Right, we need to build the team. When it comes to product dev, if you formulate from scratch, most of the kind of the first generation of D2C brands, they broadly white label. They pick up a formula, they maybe tweak it a little bit. But if you do the full cycle of 18 to 24 months, it's very, very intensive in terms of resources. And we want to be able to address more problems, both in enhancement and styling, and also I think just generally in maintenance. So there's that. In terms of distribution and working capital, the benchmark for fulfillment timeline in India now is not even next day, right? It's 15 minutes, it's same day. So being able to hold that much inventory as we expand into more e-commerce channels, as we expand into quick commerce, becomes very complicated, and the working capital blockage is pretty large. I think offline presence, maybe not at scale at the moment because it's still very early for us. We do partner with a few select salons, especially ones that understand, wavy, curly hair textures. But that's more from an educational, experiential standpoint. I think the first line of sort of getting to folks in 15 minutes for us is going to be quick commerce, and then we'll probably come to offline in a more meaningful way only next year.
All right. Just picking up on that, finally, as a young company, how are you building brand awareness? Because, this is a heavily competitive market with some players that have been around forever, and there are very many new ones like yours that are coming up every other month. What is your USP, and, how much market do you think you can capture in the coming years?
So, very, very good question. One I reflected on a lot before I quit my job more than 2 years ago now to start this. There was a lot of self-doubt also on whether I'd be able to figure this out. So in terms of building the brand, right, I think because we are so innovation and product focused, and we are solving what I believe to be a very deep unsolved problem. We're very video first. Any new age brand has to be content and community oriented. That is where you'll be able to explain the problem you're solving. That is where, that word of mouth will spread on its own, and it really becomes its own beast. So we're very, very content native, and that will continue to be a focus for us. In terms of being able to stand out, right, I think our growth, we didn't expect to reach this scale so quickly, is testament to the fact that we have picked up on a problem that is very deep. People are still, especially people that wear the hair long, right, so especially women, are still not able to figure out how to be able to wear the hair naturally. The straightener is kind of the only thing that you think will really be able to give you a reliable, good hair day when you have something important to do. So the problem is very real, and the results have been glorious. We have very high repeats. So I think just being able to articulate that and make a product that really works honestly is enough.
Well, Nikita, I'd love to keep talking about this, but we'll keep that for another time. Thank you very much for your time here on CNBC TV18 today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
On that note, it is time for us to head into a short break. But coming up next, we speak to Sanjay Chaudhary, the founder and CEO of Incuspaze. This workspace solution provider raised around $8 million in a maiden fundraising round. We tell you more about that on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still with us on Startup Street. Workspace solution provider Incuspace has raised around $8 million, led by the India Inflection Opportunity Fund and other financial institutions in its maiden funding round. Incuspace claims that it has a portfolio of 3 million square feet in 18 cities across 44 locations. Joining us now is Sanjay Chaudhary, the founder and CEO of Incuspace. Sanjay, thank you so much for taking time out and being here with us on Startup Street. You know, you're a co-working space. Take us through what you have on offer. Take us through the kind of solutions which are making your offerings more innovative and customizable. Why would someone come to you over, let's say, maybe a WeWork or one of these other companies?
Thanks for having me. Incuspace, in the last 8 years of its journey, has been built on its fundamentals of sustainability, growth, and a lot of things which we have built with my team. The reason primarily the companies come to us because of the flexibility we offer, because of the transaction timeline we do, and the ownership we take to turn around business office space for businesses. Right. I think the key priority for us is always customer first. And me and my business partner, we work together on all the transactions and ensure that whatever we do, we put customer first ahead of everything.
All right, so customer first and flexibility is one of your USPs. But you know, you started in 2016 and this is your maiden fundraise. You've raised about $8 million. So why now and how do you plan to spend these funds?
Again, I think rightly said, most of our competitors or most of our colleagues, in the industry, peers in our industry, have raised money very early. We actually have raised it, built the company very sustainably. And now that we have this fund by the Pantomath promoters, and really this is a great inflection point for our business, for the industry, and we're really focusing on growth. In especially key markets in South India, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad will be our key markets. Mumbai will always be, strategic for us. And NCR, where we are based predominantly and one of the largest player in that market. So we really are planning to grow in the southern India, where a lot of demand is there. Majority of the demand for large IT enterprise comes from there.
Right.
So
absolutely. So big focus there on the south of India because there's a higher demand out there. But, you know, it's been a few years since the pandemic, but it was a big hit for companies like you. So what's the recovery been like since then with more hybrid models of work from home more prevalent today? Has that hit demand in any sense? What is your occupancy rate at today?
Again, as I keep saying to everybody, COVID has done more good than bad to us. I think the overall push to the industry, which has been there in the last 2-3 years, has been tremendous for us as a player and also as an industry. We continue to see this demand to rise, and to be honest, overall demand in the sector is going to even hit a $9 billion opportunity for India. So we are really optimistic on what's going to come in the time, and the overall market sentiments, the customer sentiments is very positive about the industry.
All right, so extremely positive and optimistic about the way forward. But, you know, in FY23, you managed to cut your losses to about 98 lakh rupees, according to reports from about 5 crores, right? So what are your revenues at currently, and when will you turn profitable? What are the targets that you set for yourself for this year?
So we are already profitable company, as if you see from our PS as well, because we have never raised institutional round till date. It's been mainly friends and family and our own capital, which is there. And we have always run sustainably. Yes, COVID has, tested our model. COVID has tested our fundamentals, and we stood strong. So this year, we are already profitable, and we continue to make sustainable business in times to come. When we say it's a growth capital for us, which we have raised, it is genuinely growth capital, and we continue to be profitable in times to come as well. Sustainability and profitability is key to our business.
So already profitable, sustainability and profitability being the key for your business. Well, Sanjay, thank you so much for joining us on the show, and we wish you all the best on your journey going forward.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
With that, it's a wrap from Ritu, Arundhati and me, Shruti, on this edition of Startup Street. More news and updates coming up on the other side. Stay tuned.